You're probably sitting here asking yourself, well, why is Ethan selling his tier 1 deck? I thought he was doing really good. He's won every locals that we've had here. And all of a sudden, Ethan wants to sell his deck? Well, it's because Ethan is afraid of losing money. And that's something that I think a lot of players kind of tend to miss out in this game. So we're going to talk about why this particular person named Ethan is selling his deck, as now is the time to probably sell out of your Gouki shit. Alright, let's move into this, shall we? This video may or may not be based on the true story of my friend named Ethan Shorten. So, Ethan constantly is always doing relatively well at locals, constantly winning, and bada bing bada boom, we enter into banless season. Ethan comes on Discord and says, I've sold everything, it's time to not play the game. Followed by half of his players at locals asking, well Ethan, why aren't you playing locals today? Well, here's a little thing called a financial investment in Yu-Gi-Oh! And how probably selling your deck that's probably going to get hit in a fire is a very good call. So, Ethan's not the only one to be doing this. So first off, there are 5% of the people in this community, I think, that take this approach. A lot of people will go out and buy their meta deck, and I've discussed this before. I don't think it's a bad thing. Go out and spend $100 or so, maybe even $200 or $300. It's your deck for the month. Alright, cool. We got it. You play, you do relatively well. You're like, well, banless is coming. Time to sell that shit. You shell it out for 80%. Take your loss on your fees. Get like 70% after everything's done. You call it a day. You bought your source of entertainment for the month. Congratulations. That's how it works. So here's the thing. We've reached this particular setting in the format where people like Ethan are starting to sell their deck cores. You know what this is going to do? The format is going to go... Everyone's going to be fire selling their firewalls, whether or not because of an impending reprint, because, oh no, Gouki's going to get hit on the list. And then you've got the brave people out there. The people like me that buy a Necros deck 2 weeks before the ban list and get lucky because the deck doesn't die in the fire. Ah, that was a good time. Bought fucking Necros from a friend of mine. The deck got hit, but the deck was still tier 1. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. Sometimes you're that guy that goes out and buys engages. And then you're like, oh, well, shit, the deck's probably going to get hit, so you sell them back off. And then you get incredibly pissed at yourself because 2 weeks later the list drops. And you're like, well, they didn't get hit. Fuck diddly. Now, this isn't an investment video. This isn't the run out down the streets and fucking pick up, engages. No, that's not the point of this video. This is just a minor observation that I've kind of come to as of late, that players have started to kind of start flash selling their stuff. The more competitive cards, the things that aren't necessarily getting reprints, but there are people that are always wary. The signs will start to go off. You're like, oh, well, the person that invested in meta started selling their shit, Should I take this as a warning to quite possibly start offloading my Gouki shit? Well, first off, the Gouki core is not worth very much. Most of your money's going to be in a Soul Day Firewall. It's in the extra deck, per se. If you want to wait it out and take the gamble, that's your discretion. But we've reached that impasse right now that fire selling has begun. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, if you're on the flip side of that equation and you're like, fuck it, I want to buy what I want to play right now. It's like those people that bought Zoo cores last year. They bought the deck, they had 2 weeks to play it. And you know what? Some people that paid $10 for those Zoo cores were the happiest I've ever seen them been. Because they got to beat the people that actually spent the actual money at their locals. They destroyed them with Zoo. And it's like, just because I'm a budget player doesn't mean I'm not better at the game. I just kind of play within my realm of what I own. A lot of players out there that do that. So here's the thing. Alright, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going into this cheaper season. And with this cheaper season, you've got people that will inherently not want to keep cards. It's a really interesting community because staples cost a lot of money. They're the reason why they're referred to as staples. Ash Blossom, evenly matched. I guess I'll toss Sphere Mode into the equation, even though it's not a true staple, but a lot of decks are citing it. Things like Boral Sword, Borreload, Firewall, these side deck cards, main deck cards, extra deck cards, they're all cards that you functionally need to play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And when fire selling starts happening, you'll start seeing these card prices be driven down. Whether or not it's because people are fearful of reprints, or there's an impending ban list around the way. I know a lot of people that will take the gamble. Back to the referencing point I made earlier with engages. There are people that just don't give a fuck. There are people out there that want to play the lottery. If people see engage as a potential card not getting hit, people will say, you fucking know what? I'm going to I'll take my risk. Somebody at Locals selling them for $50 a piece. I've got $150 in my pocket right now. Do I buy those engages? The question you have to ask yourself is, are you fine with losing that $150? Is the entertainment that those cards give to you going to be worth that investment? If you've been wanting to play Sky Strikers, then I as a player would say take the risk. Worst case scenario, engage gets limited, the deck becomes unplayable. That's the reality of it. The best case scenario, deck's still playable after the list. Drones goes to 1. We get a repeat of the OCG right now, and we see a potential return on that investment. You could go play them for a little bit, sell them, probably going to be about the same for what you paid for them. But because you have to take its risk versus reward, if you fire sell everything now at a discount price and the stuff doesn't get hit, well, if you want to play that deck again, you have to go spend the money to go pick it back up. You hurt yourself in the long run. But if it's the same amount of money that you sold it for, you can pick it back up at, go for it. It's, God, why is the theme always risk versus return? Fucking economics 101. Like, if any of you guys have taken an economics class in high school, I'm sure a lot of you guys will also understand this. Also remember, supply versus demand. If, Ethan's not the only one fire selling out here, then George might be fire selling as well. Hell, Trent out here is deciding to pick up Blue Eyes. He sold his entire Gouki deck with Ethan. Trent decided to pick up Blue Eyes. Trent's logic here, I love Blue Eyes. I'll pick up another deck later on, but for this current point in time, until we get a ban list, I'm going to play Blue Eyes. That's respectable. Alright? Real life examples are always the best. Ethan's not investing until after the ban list. Trent is over here decided to continue to play Locals, continue to have fun with the game that he loves. And he's not being a sorry little scout over here like Ethan, who's just going to Locals to smile and say hi to everybody. That's fine. It's all fine and dandy, but you're not engaging in the game. So, interesting fun facts. There's always multiple milestones to these things. People getting their decks, selling them, people selling their decks to invest into something else. You've got really interesting scenarios over here. But because we've entered into fire selling season, people are selling their decks because they're fearful of the impending doom of their list. If you've been playing the deck for as long, be honest with me, if you're one of those people who have been playing Gouki and you don't think your deck's going to get hit on this list, look at me, who the fuck you think you lying to right now, alright? I don't know what the hell you are probably thinking. Oh, well, Isolde getting hit. The deck will still be playable. Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade. Look here, Robbie. You don't understand the complexity of Firewall Dragon. Firewall should be banned. Like, I don't know if we've all missed that point, but he should be. Not gonna happen, but should be. If you're being dishonest with yourself and you don't understand why these people are selling their Gouki decks at this stage, fear's a real motherfucker. And I think because of these particular things, people are surprised by human emotion playing such an important part in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Here's the thing. It does. People are fearful of losing fucking money, and he's a real strange motherfucker. So, moral of the story, people are flash selling Goukis and Sky Striker shit right now because if they're fearful of a list. If you can get the stuff at a severely cheaper rate, go for it. Except for Goukis. No, I didn't even mean to say that. That's the Sky Strikers, not Gouki. You know what I mean? Better choices. So, these are just the things I see real life, real life experiences. I see my friends making these decisions. I think it's worth talking about because you get every side of the equation. You'd be surprised. There's always the people out there that be like, well, one of my local players is selling this. Should I consider picking it up? And to alleviate and answer that question, if the price is right. And always remember, God, The Price is Right was such a good show back in the day. But moral of the story, if the price is right, get it. But if you're one of those people, you have Gouki right now and you haven't sold it, prepare your anus, because the impending, oh shit, should have sold that and made some money, is coming right around the corner. And if Goukis don't get hit, well, fuck me. Konami obviously wasn't smart. Hitting Divine Sword is probably going to be what we're going to get. But that's it for this discussion. Deucerinos, people. The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out VanCole40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel. And join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.